What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're looking ahead to game week 21, my team selection, and we might just talk about MAHREZ as well. What is up, everyone? Welcome back. FPL Harry here, and today it is my game week 21 team selection. It is just about 24 hours to go until the next deadline comes around for game week 21. Do not worry though, from game week 21 to game week 22 there is plenty of time. We have an FA Cup round, so we do have an extra bit of a break. Before we dive into my potential transfers, let's have a bit of review of how I got on in a roller coaster game week 20 for me. The week was awful until the last game when the man that is MAHREZ stepped up, 2 goals and assists last night, a crazy return. Didn't have the money to go for Kevin De Bruyne, decided to keep Salah, and boy did I get lucky. Yes, I got lucky, I'm going to sit here and admit it. I got lucky and boy did it pay off. The rest of my team, there's not really anything to write home about. I brought in Kane as part of the -8 as well. He did pick up 1 assist. Erling Haaland was my captain, got a goal, but of course no bonus points in there. I still got a red arrow despite owning MAHREZ in my team. So I moved from 18k down to about 20k. But before that Manchester City game, I moved from 18k down to 50k. So if that game hadn't have gone how it was, I would have had a massive, massive red arrow. I feel like I've got very lucky. I'm on absolute cloud 9. I'm recording about 5 minutes after the full-time whistle in that Manchester City game has gone, and then we'll edit this in the morning. I did leave some points on my bench. If I started Kepa over Ward, then things could have got even better. If I'd actually started Ben White over Luke Shaw or John Stones. John Stones was maybe the one I should have considered, just because Stones, I knew he wasn't going to play the first game, but I thought he could play the second one. Ben White was away from home, so I didn't necessarily know what to expect in that. So that was the only decision I could have made. But the week is just here to say thank you, MAHREZ. 19 points, you absolute legend. So to talk about some potential transfers to my team, you might be surprised to see that MAHREZ is still one of the players that I'm considering transferring out. This is because I still think Kevin De Bruyne is the most nailed on Manchester City player. However well MAHREZ did bail Manchester City out of that Tottenham game, I still think there is rotation in there for him. I think it's unlikely that I sell him going into the Wolves fixture, but with the amount of minutes that MAHREZ has played in game week 20, there's a good chance that MAHREZ doesn't necessarily start at home to Wolves, given that they then play Arsenal a week later. So I still think there's a good chance that Kevin De Bruyne starts Wolves at home and MAHREZ doesn't start, and that could completely undo all of the good work that I'm trying to do here. And looking ahead to the double upcoming in game week 23, I'm still thinking that Kevin De Bruyne is that Manchester City midfielder that I want in my team, especially given that Mo Salah is not performing well enough. Mo Salah, again, is the other midfielder I'm looking to transfer out. The other ones that I, of course, have in my midfield, I have Saka and Martinelli. Now, one of those, particularly Martinelli, I might move on to Odegaard. Odegaard looks so key to what Arsenal are doing at the moment. I really do want to make that sideways switch, but I don't have the luxury transfers to be making in my team at the moment. Salah, for me, is just not worth the money, and I think if you've got Darwin as well, you're probably thinking the exact same things as me, that these guys need to be moved on. Do I need to do it this week? Maybe not. If I was to sell Salah this week, I'd want to go for De Bruyne, but I can't sell him for De Bruyne straight away for 1 free transfer. I'd have to sell MAHREZ for a -4 or sell John Stones if I was going to do it that way, which is also a possibility, to go for no Manchester City defence and just go MAHREZ and have De Bruyne as well for their upcoming doubles and their upcoming nice run of fixtures. That is also a possibility. I am looking at that as a potential -4 or transfer further down the line, but I can't just go straight is what I'm saying. So I would have to sell Salah to someone cheaper and then potentially do MAHREZ to Kevin De Bruyne next week is something that I would consider doing with my team. The other midfielders that I am looking at, Almiron is still in here. Now, some of you might be looking to sell him because he's not returned in the past few, but the fixtures are there. They are playing really well and he is still nailed on. And then, of course, it is the Brighton midfield. Now, the Brighton midfield is probably where I would go if I was looking to sell Salah this week and I couldn't go to Kevin De Bruyne. I realistically think I might wait to next week, but Salah out for a -4 to go and get Kevin De Bruyne while selling John Stones as well. It's a tough one because I do still think John Stones is the most nailed on Manchester City defender, and they are playing Wolves at home where I think they're pretty certain or have a very good chance of keeping a clean sheet. So to summarise, I still think Salah and MAHREZ are the two midfielders I would look to move on. I still think I want Kevin De Bruyne. There is a chance that I get Kevin De Bruyne in for Salah and keep MAHREZ and actually go, and sell John Stones as my defender. But Matoma is the cheap midfielder that I'm still looking at. I think Brighton look really good. Their fixtures on the horizon are great, and they will have double game weeks on the horizon because they still have more fixtures to rearrange than any other team. In terms of other potential transfers as well, not necessarily for this week, but there are a couple of moves that I am looking to do, particularly going into game week 25 or so, roughly around that time. The first one, upgrading Greenwood into Gnonto. Now, he looks really good. I may just be trading one flavour of the moment in Greenwood when he was playing, and now I'm bringing in another one in Gnonto. But I still think he's looked so good. An Italian international, he's playing so well for a 19-year-old. I think for him, the upcoming fixtures are okay. Of course, this is potentially dependent on whether Leeds get a double in game week 22. The Leeds double in game week 22 could still be confirmed either before the game week 21 deadline or even before the game week 22 deadline. So if you can roll a transfer going into this week, absolutely do it. We'll learn so much more information between game weeks 21 and game weeks 22 as well, because we have rounds of both of the cups, so we will know about blanks and double game week. So if you can roll a transfer, absolutely do so. But even if Leeds don't get a double in game week 22, they play Southampton at home in game week 25, the blank game week, and I will need all of my players because it's likely that Newcastle and Manchester United will have a blank game week in game week 25. So I'll need my bench, and Gnonto could be perfect as my third forward. The other transfer is upgrading Patterson. Now, I did just mention that we might have a blank game week for Newcastle, which means Dan Burn would probably not be the ideal replacement. But longer term, doubling up on Newcastle defence is something that I really think that I should be doing and should be considering doing. A lot of people, a lot of you have probably done it so far, and it's working out very well. They're not scoring loads of goals, maybe why I don't necessarily need to go for Almiron instead of I could go for Matoma in my other transfer plans. But defensively, they do look really sound. And of course, Patterson doesn't look like he's going to feature. He might be back by about game week 24, game week 25. But I do think upgrading him to someone else who's more reliable could be a nice option, especially because there aren't that many premiums that we really want in our teams, particularly in defence, looking at Cancelo only playing one in the double game week as well. So after the massive performance from Riyad Mahrez, I think it's unlikely that I go and sell him going into this week, even though I actually still think there's a good chance that he's benched. He did look pretty knackered coming off that pitch, but can he really afford to be benched? Can Pep really afford to bench him, given the way some of those other players have played in the past couple of weeks? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go and sell him. The only thing that I might do is the -4 of Salah to De Bruyne and John Stones to someone else. Do I really think it's worth a -4 when I think John Stones should start, although he has just had a slight knock which kept him out of the Manchester derby? Do I think it's worth a -4? Probably not, but I just don't back Salah, and he's dropping in value as well. So I am considering that as a -4. I think there's about a 75% chance that I roll my transfer. As I said, rolling a transfer looks really beneficial with the amount of information we could get between game weeks 21 and game weeks 22 about the upcoming doubles, about the upcoming blank game weeks as well. So I'm planning on rolling my transfer. Haaland is likely to keep the armband. Harry Kane likely to be my vice captain. As much as I'd like it to be on Riyad Mahrez, he's done enough for me in 1 week. It's unlikely to go there. I'm choosing Ward over Kepa again. I just can't pick between them, but I do think if I'm going to start Salah, I may as well start Ward. Again, on my bench, I actually swapped out from the last time we spoke Shaw onto my bench for Ben White. With Casemiro out, I do think Arsenal will score at home, so I think there's a higher chance of a White clean sheet than Shaw, but Shaw does have the attacking threat there. So a 50-50 call, I think, between the two of them, but I am just favouring White, who's punished me the last couple of weeks with me being sat on my bench. So planning on rolling my transfer. Chance I go Salah to De Bruyne and John Stones out, but 75% sure I'm going to roll my transfer. Thank you all for watching. Rabbited on. Mahrez is the king, basically. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe if you have not already. Good luck in game week 21 when it does come around. There will, of course, be a live stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll be back again very soon.